And welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. So, a few things to get to. We have Miami Heat basketball tonight. They're taking on the Indiana Pacers. Currently, Bam Adebayo is questionable for the game. He's dealing with a calf. He's dealing with a back. Look, he played last night. I don't know how his pains are going to react, so I don't know, but I'm going to guess that he's going to play tonight. He is already shown that he's willing to play through it. You also have Andrew Wiggins dealing with an ankle injury, so that's another thing to keep an eye on for everybody out there. And obviously a Pacers team. They've gotten 2 out of 3 on the Heat so far this season. They're very high-powered. And don't believe – who were they without today? I just saw this. Is it Mathurin who's not playing today? I think Mathurin's out for them. And TJ McConnell remains a question mark, and he is a Heat mother-bleeping killer throughout his career. So I am very curious to see how I got to imagine that Haywood Highsmith has earned his way back into the rotation after that performance. It is Mathurin, by the way, who is out tonight, that from Anthony Chang. But Haywood Highsmith has to go out there and continue to get some minutes. I feel like he deserves it after the way that he played the last game. This is a man who I think adds a lot of the grit that Miami needs in some of these games. You know, certainly there are stretches where Miami isn't scoring, and I get that. But there's also just a need for a place where the Miami Heat just need those in-between plays, guys who could do that type of stuff, and he is one of those guys. I just think they need more of that. Davion Mitchell is providing that, and I think that, you know, it's interesting hearing Haywood talk about Davion and how he was able to coach him along in his style of what Miami's doing defensively. Davion, I really, really enjoy watching him play and what he's brought to the Miami Heat so far, and even if it means at times throwing a Pelle Larsson in there, you know, if a certain guy does get, I'm not saying put him in the rotation for a mainstay, but I'm saying, like, if, let's say, Haywood came in and got into foul trouble, then put Pelle out there, because Pelle could do a lot of that in-between stuff. He'll fly all over the place. He'll get loose balls. I just think that if Miami is going to lean into Tyler Bam Wiggins, which is totally fine, it's what normal teams do. They have a hierarchy. You got to find everybody else who's going to do the little stuff. It can't all be Jaime Jaquez has got to find a rhythm. Terry Rozier's got to find a rhythm, because you don't have Nico anymore. And one of the things that Nico was so great is he just provided a little bit of everything. You know, yeah, he could shoot, but he could also facilitate, and he could also rebound, and he could also move the ball a little bit. He could take some pressure off. So you're going to need some of that from a little bit of everybody. And I just think that having Haywood is a no-brainer for this team. I think that having Pelle Larsson at times can provide some of that. Keep putting Duncan Robinson out there. You need the shooting. You know how fearful everybody is. Maybe there's a night where he catches fire. You're gonna have to deal with the typical Duncan Robinson stuff with refs not respecting him, or maybe he makes a silly foul every now and then. But I always feel like his good outweighs his bad, and the positivity of what he does with those bigs outweighs the bad. So I definitely want to continue to see more of them. Does Burks continue to get sprinkled in there? Yeah, if he gets his shot, then of course there's going to be some value in there. He's been on a little bit of a clunker these last couple of games. It does seem like Spo's officially yanked the plug on Terry Rozier for now, and made the point. He was talking about the idea that he doesn't know what the right decisions are. You know, he doesn't know whether it's the case of this guy, but he did make the point that everybody's already had their choice, which is fair. Everybody really has had their chance already.
Really, really happy for him. You know, I've mentioned it many times, you know, who knows what the right decisions are, you know, with this team. You know, that's just the reality. And I can't claim that I'm making, you know, the right decisions. But basically, everybody's had their opportunities. You know, at some point we are where we are. So right now, there's kind of a clear mind. You know, in this final stretch, just give in to the team. You know, just pour into the team, pour into whatever we have to do to get wins. Whether you're playing or not playing, just pour into the team. Stay ready if you're not in the rotation. Your number will get called. That's happened all year long. Everybody's gotten their opportunity. But now with this stretch run, make an impact. And he certainly did that right away with the offensive rebounds, the hustle plays. You felt his energy, and he earned all those minutes. That's what we say all the time. And I couldn't take him out of the game. And you're happy for him, that he was able to stay ready. He had a really intense, 3-on-3 workout yesterday, and that's just the kind of makeup he has.
I think it's okay if we're at a spot where Miami tinkers a little bit. It's not just a set 8 guys who, you have your 5. I'm good with those 2 with Haywood and with Duncan for right now. And then if Alex has it going, cool. If for whatever reason it's a night where Jaime looks like he is giving it a good run, all right, throw Jaime out there. But, the thing with Jaime is Jaime did a lot of those things, it felt like last year, better, where if he didn't have the ball in his hands or he could just make the right cut or not need too much just to make an impression on the game, it's felt less and less like that this year, that he can make that kind of an impact. So we'll see. Kyle Anderson, same thing. For whatever reason, he goes out there. I mean, he has been a monster getting to the free throw line, so I think he'll be kind of sprinkled in there as well with this type of game. But for right now, Miami just has to find whatever works to get themselves the win. It really is one of these things where there can be no more feelings anymore. There can be no more, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. Too bad. That's not how that works right now. Right now, the Heat got to do everything they can to get wins, and especially this weekend against a Pacers team ahead of them, a Knicks team ahead of them. Can Miami show any signs of we can hang? Because they have shown no signs of that. They really have not. Not even just with the Jimmy trade, but most of the time this year, the real hang your hat wins are not. There's not too many of those for Miami, and so I think this one, you think Rockets on the road, Orlando double OT, and then you have to kind of go back in a mix with some of the some of the Jimmy games, I would say. So this weekend in your building, getting a chance to get your fans behind you, to feel a little bit of that to feel a little bit of that momentum. It's a big weekend. It's a big 72 hours for Miami to determine all that stuff of like, all right, we have these things ahead of us, and what can we do with them? What can we go about and make these things happen with a Pacers game, day off, Knicks game, and then don't lose to the Wizards, dude. I mean, don't lose to the Wizards. This is an interesting story. There is a story today from the people at WPLG. My guy David Dwork with the writing on this on WPLG at Local 10. Jimmy Butler is being sued over a house that he leased. It says, according to local legal documents obtained by Local 10, 5-Star Marketing Promotion has filed a lawsuit on Wednesday. In the suit, 5-Star alleges that Butler stayed in the Miami Beach home 2 more months past when his lease expired in August of 2024. He initially signed the lease in August of 2022. 5-Star said the lease agreement stated that Butler would owe double the rent, which would be $130,000 per month if he stayed past the agreed term without written permission from the landlord. Additionally, the lawsuit alleges that Butler left the property in disrepair. Court documents also allege that Butler caused $125,000 in damage, including mold issues, damaged drywall. What are they doing? WWE at Jimmy Butler's house? Flooring, an unmaintained pool, a malfunctioning HVAC system. The lawsuit further claims that Butler changed the locks and denied the property owner access for inspections. The total cost of the damage is $127,228. In total, 5-Star is suing Butler for $257,000. $257,282. The number represents 2 months of rent and the damage. So by my count, they're not doing the double rent thing. The damage to the property minus Butler's 130. Okay, so I guess that's where it is, because they're taking out the security deposit, which they say they're legal. Listen, you get what place have you not rented? They try and screw you out of the security deposit. All right, there you go. So there you go. Jimmy Butler is getting sued for a damaged piece of property that he apparently. So if you say 2 months passed, that was into the season. So maybe he thought he was going to get traded, and it was like, all right. That's why maybe he's like, I got to make a stink. I don't have anywhere to live. Didn't he say also, too, recently on the Warriors that he had to find a place to live? This is all out there. He's like, I need a place to live. Maybe they're like, oh, yeah? Before you do that. I guess he's not going to get a good reference on that from like past tenants. You ever have to do that when you're going like, I haven't rented in a while, but I do remember when I was in college, I rented a lot because I got kicked off campus at Barry University. Go Bucks. And when I had to find a place to live, the second place that I lived, I first rented a house with my fraternity brothers, right, half a mile from Barry University. And this was like when you were really stupid. Like we were 20 years old, 21 years old. And I was the name on the lease. And I had my best friend, he decided, let's get a hot tub. But we didn't hook up the hot tub. It was just there. So he ended up getting, I don't remember if he like did work or something, but he was just able to obtain a hot tub and just decided to put it in this person's backyard. And then it was like, then high time came to move out. And it's like, well, what do we do with this? And they're just like, leave it. And I'm just like, great. So then I ended up having to find somebody to take it. And then one of the people that I was living with was really pissed because they wanted it. And I'm like, well, you should have thought of that because you had to get the security deposit. And then like what people, go through as a tenant, they're like, this, oh, look, there's a scuff there on the floors. It's like, well, yeah, there were college kids living here for a whole year. What'd you think was going to happen? Half your security deposit gone. Then there was another night. The next apartment that I lived at, we were watching the Kimbo Slice fight, the night that he lost to Seth Petruzzelli, and dumb friends of mine sitting there, they're acting like they're Seth Petruzzelli. Boom, hole right in my wall. They're drunk, fraternity, brothers being what they are, and I didn't get that security deposit back. I tried. That was before I had more skill at fixing things in a house. I tried drywalling it. I was not very good, and I had all of my security deposit taken for that one. So what I'm saying is Jimmy Butler might have just been having a good time. I imagine the rich have very good times, but it was that was a very interesting story to take out that, Jimmy Butler is like, I don't want to leave. Changing the locks is funny, though. That's he's like, I don't want anybody in here. Like, you change the locks, and the guy's like, can I look at it? Nope, sorry. Do you leave him the keys? Like, does the guy have to blowtorch open? Like, that's a pain in the ass. And then, like, for changing the locks, like, does he have fancy locks? Like, what do really famous people have? Like, do they just have your standard doorknob double bolt? These are the things I wonder about. Does he have just Davion Mitchell? Well, I guess he wouldn't in this case, but you have Davion Mitchell. No one's getting through that door. You're not getting past him. No shot. Or Haywood Highsmith. You call the locksmith. Haywood, can I get in here? No, you cannot, Jimmy.